Get high rapper, the man hour. You already know. It's live. It's raw. It's going down. Like this. I'm going around and letting everybody know that they welcome to the show. It's the littest thing you ever seen, you already know. Let me introduce you to your host of the hour. It be Mike and Mike. Yeah, it's the man hour. Got the hottest plays, all the breaking news. Every rumor, every trade, every breaking bruise. Tighten knuckle screws, yeah, it's going down. Have you saying what the fuck and never watered down? It's going down, I'll be rolling up. And if you buy it or you sell it, then you made the cut. Watch me flip it back, I can double up. I got sriracha for that ass, I'ma burn it up. Gotta check the rules and know that it be fair and foul. Rep blow the whistle, coach throw the towel. We can do this on the field or outside the lines. It's the man hour though, now we going live.
And what is up, everybody? Michael Buckasher here with the Mike and Mike Man Hour. Head over to www, that's World Wide Web, MikeandMikeManHour.com. Pick yourself some merchandise. Got new hats over there, new hoodies as well. All the good stuff, or you can drop a donation as well. But the easiest way to support the show, head over to youtube.com/Mike and Mike Man Hour. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon. We are live Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. East Coast time. But as always, I am brought into you by Mike LeBlanc. Mike, what is up, man? What is up? What is up? What is up?
What up? What up? The World Wide Web? Really?
The World Wide Web for those old school people. So I was talking to because I have a lot of older friends, but because I work in the IT field and like IT, you just never leave. So there's like 50, 60-year-old folk there. And
you didn't really say the World Wide Web?
Yeah, so like nowadays, like you really don't put the www in front of shit. Like you just type in the site, manhour.com, right? But they're like www.support.com. I was like, what? What does www even mean? They're like, World Wide Web, good sir. World Wide Web. I'm like, get out of here with that shit. It's https:// now. The S means security for those people that don't know. But Matt. I blew the bleep. Man, I'm never good with that shit. We got a special guest. We got Matt Benz from Twist on today. What's up, Benz?
What's up, boys? Thanks for having me on once again. It is a great Tuesday, a cold Tuesday up here in Minnesota.
Dude, so I live in Texas, right?
Yep.
And yesterday, it was 76 degrees outside.
Did you have to turn on your heater?
So, no, 76 is good. That's good weather.
That's good weather.
So this morning, I get up to go walk my dog. I walk outside and my testicles went up into my skin.
I don't even want to hear it. If you say 50-something degrees.
It was so cold. It was 31 degrees this morning. I was like, oh. Well,
I understand. That's good then. That makes me respect you a little bit more.
I just walked outside in some shorts and a tank top and was like, oh, sure. No, I had to walk back inside.
The cold literally takes away your soul. You're like,
yeah. I mean, when I wake up for work in the morning and I'm up at 2:00 and I'm out the door at 2:30 and it's 17 this morning and I'm just like, all right, glad I wore pants today.
I think Texas drinks whiskey with me because the weather is drunk. It was 76 degrees outside yesterday.
Yeah.
Now it's 34. Tomorrow it'll be 85.
So Benz, I used to do your line of work back when I lived in Kansas. I stocked vending machines and pop machines and stuff, and we would get to work at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and go do our shit, right?
Yep.
And this time of year in Kansas is the most bipolar you will ever see. You will literally see 4 seasons all day because you'll wake up and it's 31 degrees and it's snowing. Yep. You come back out after your first stop. It's 65 and sunny. Springtime, you throw off the hoodie and you walk inside to the next place and it's freaking 13 degrees outside. It just that is the worst.
3 weeks ago it was 70-something degrees. The same week we got 7 inches of sno. So
it's beautiful.
It's just what
Speaking
it's all about.
of 7 inches,
yeah,
the Bears got that last night.
I did not see that coming.
That was beautiful transition.
Brandon Combs, where are you at, my man? Man, your Bears bent over and took it. Guys, the Rams beat the Bears last night, 24-10. I was actually rooting for the Bears. I picked the Bears to win because I thought the Rams are kind of smoke and mirrors. But, Benj, you are the guest today. What are your thoughts of this game? Like, did the Rams kind of prove people wrong?
Yeah, I mean, they proved people wrong without doing it in a freaking electric way, right? I mean, it wasn't necessarily the Rams' best offensive game that they've had, but they got the job done against a stout defense. But you see the other side of the ball, and you see how crappy the play calling is, along with maybe the majority of the talent on the Bears' offensive side of the ball is garbage. And it shows. It shows when you play a competitive team. Yes, they beat the Bucs. We all understand they beat the Bucs by a point. We get that. But it shows right there that their record is a facade. So,
do you think it's a facade? Do you think they were just overlooking the Rams, right? Because the Rams, it's all they've beaten, really, let's be honest, is the NFC East, right? A bunch of 2-0 teams, horrible teams, right? So do you think they were overlooking the Rams going to the Saints?
What do you think, Buck?
I don't think the Bears are in a position to overlook anybody, because if you look at their schedule moving forward, they have the Saints, Titans, Vikings, Packers. They could easily go 1-3 in the next 4 games. So this was almost I want to say a must-win game for them, because the Bears go 6-1 in this stretch of games versus the Titans, Vikings, Saints, and Packers, and you only get one win out of that. You are still 7-4, not 6-4, right?
Right, exactly.
So,
and I think when you look at also, yes, the Rams beat the Cowboys, but you got to remember that was with Dak week 1. So I mean, you think about
really not saying much either. So
it definitely is when you think that
the Rams should have lost to the Cowboys.
That defense,
right? Yep.
The Cowboys defense has been horrible all season. It's been atrocious all season long.
Sure.
Right.
Did Van Der Esch get hurt in the first game, or was that week 2?
He was out all season until 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. Because
he played week 1. He got hurt week 1.
Oh, okay. But still, I mean, regardless, it doesn't matter. Like Mike is saying right now, the Bears team, they don't put up enough points. Yes, their defense is stout, but you'll see with any teams in the league that have great defenses, Steelers, other teams like that, they put up points to back it up. You can't win games when you're only scoring about 17 points per game. So.
I mean, look at the 49ers last season. They had a amazing defense. But
they ran the shit out of the ball too.
Yeah.
They did, but they didn't have that great of an offense.
You don't need a great offense when you are averaging 200 yards on the ground every game, and you got like over 40 minutes of time of possession, a 60-minute game. Yeah. And then your defense, only gives it one score. I mean, like honestly, the 49ers could have won every game last year 7-3, and they would have been perfectly happy. Like, let's be flat out honest.
Yes, Mike Reeves. I am a Caucasian. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Levi's, Columbia. Let's go.
So back to Mike Reeves' comment. They're saying the Bears are the worst team in NFL history. I wouldn't go that far yet, because the Bears defense is pretty damn good. I mean, the Rams offense is still pretty high-flying offense, right? I mean, even though it's been a
Reeves, have you not seen the NFC East play this year?
Yeah.
The Bears could easily beat Washington, Dallas, Philly.
I don't know. That's the crazy part that I was thinking this last weekend. Could the Bears beat the Washington football team? That's sketchy to me, because that's a trap. Washington is finding their role offensively, right? They try to limit the mistakes with Kyle Allen, and they try to bomb Antonio Gibson, and they just get Scary Terry involved, and that's really their MO, right? But the defense keeps them in the games, and I trust that offense in Washington more than I trust the Bears offense, even with play calling in of itself. So I don't know. That's interesting.
So I want to propose a question to you guys. I texted Brandon Combs last night when basically Nick Foles looked like hot garbage.
Correct.
I'm like, is it time for like Mitch to I'm back in?
Oh,
do you guys think it's time for Mitch to come back in?
It was never time for him to come out. We've been saying this week in and week out. It was never time for him to come out. Yes, he was making mistakes, but they were still winning games at that point. He is a dual threat quarterback. He gives you more options in that aspect of it. And I feel like the team had more chemistry. If there's any chemistry with Trubisky, they had more chemistry with him. You put Big Dick Nick in there, one of the best backup quarterbacks in the game, but that's
Keyword
coming
there.
into games.
Keyword
Backup.
there.
He's not a starter, and it shows. Every week it shows, man.
It's shown his whole career. Every time he has left Philly, he has shit the bed. Like, let's
Correct.
be flat honest. He has shit the bed. I mean, obviously in Jacksonville, he didn't get really the time of day because whole Garner Minshew mania, BS, whatever. That guy's hot garbage as far as I'm concerned. Mike, what are you thinking? Garner Minshew is by far the worst starting quarterback in all of NFL. Name me one worse than he is. Kirk Cousins, is that what you're trying
I'm not going to
do
say
there?
it. You said it, not me, man.
I would say Kirk Cousins. I mean, Kirk Cousins to me this season is such a fucking disappointment.
He's actually done something though.
We talked about it before the season on the show. We talked about, Kirk Cousins. I thought he was going to turn the corner this season with the Vikings, and I really thought he was going to show up this season and really play. He had a good running game with Dalvin Cook. He has some weapons on the outside now. But you kept telling me, hey, he can't show up in big games. When all the attention's on him, he can't show up.
And that's perfectly fine. If he can't
proven.
show up in big games, that's fine. But this year he hasn't shown up
He hasn't shown up at all.
at all.
Well, he
scary.
showed up one game when he had 250 yards passing that one game when they actually had an offensive explosion that one game
Against Seattle where they lost.
Yeah, but he still showed up and played well, I thought.
Yeah, we'll give him that. But I mean, it's the roller coaster.
When anybody ever talks about Kirk Cousins, I always go back to when he's walking into the locker room holding his.
You like that? Yeah.
No, we don't.
No.
We actually liked it if you would do it 16 games a season, just not for 16 minutes.
Exactly.
How much did the Vikings pay? It was like $100 million, right?
84.
$84 million.
Yeah.
Well, the Vikings did pay $100 million between their coach and their quarterback. They're probably going to fire by the end of the year.
That was a waste of money. That was a waste of money.
100%. So
you can't. I don't know. I'll still ride with them. I'll still ride with them over Case Keenum. I'll ride with them over Teddy. It is what it is.
Speaking of Case Keenum,
sure,
he's one of the quarterbacks I think Dallas should go after and trade for. Him, Case Keenum, Jacoby Brissett or Jameis Winston. Cowboys need to go into some kind of new direction.
The Cowboys do?
And they're going to overpay for it? They're going to have to really overpay for any of those.
I mean, of course. But, I mean, if Andy Dalton goes down like he did last week, right? Danucci, right? Who the hell is that?
7th round pick.
Tom Brady, yes.
Exactly. We need yes, for everybody who is asking, this is a glass of whiskey. I just it is Bullet Rye. So anybody want to make donations? Send me a bottle of Bullet Rye.
Yep, Mike and MikeManor.com, guys. Hit that donation tab. Be highly appreciated.
Oh my gosh. Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys need to do something at backup quarterback. I mean, it's either it's Danucci or Garrett Gilbert. I mean, no, Reeves. I think they have to. They have to add a quarterback.
I don't know. The scary part about Cowboys right now is I feel like there's a fire sale going on. I really don't see them necessarily. Jerry Jones is Jerry Jones, and he will throw cash around, right? But I just see them
just
kind
not
of
Dak.
Right. Yeah.
You know what? We're not winning the title, but you know what? Like Buck, we talked about it yesterday. The playoffs are still a very, very, very real thing for the NFC.
4 wins away, right?
Yeah, I mean, that whole division is hot garbage. So do not go out
too. And thinking about that, do you want to be? That's me as a Vikings fan. This is what I have to take into account this season. Do I want to be the plain Jane Vikings this year and hope that they run the table and make a wild card game and lose and get a shitty draft pick, or do I want them to continue to lose and to get a good pick? I mean, you see all these middle of the road teams that don't make a run. They get a shitty draft pick. There's no future in that. There's no future in free agency when you're the Minnesota market. Maybe with Dallas there is.
I mean, if Dallas, let's say Dallas just tanks the rest of the year, they don't add anything, they tank, right? They're looking at first 5 draft pick, 1 through 5.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
That's 1 through 8.
What are you really going to go after? You're not going after a quarterback. I mean, Dak Prescott he's already solidified. I mean, as much as I don't think he is the future of the Cowboys right now, with the state of the Cowboys and how they're doing these past 2 games without Prescott, it's evident that Prescott does make the Cowboys better at the quarterback position.
So Mike Reeves, let me address this question for you. He asks, well, why do the playoffs matter for them boys if you can't make any noise? I said it here on the show, and I'm sticking to it still. I think the winner of the NFC, if it's the Eagles or the Giants, or sorry, the Eagles or the Cowboys, are going to win a first-round playoff game. I think this division is built. Do not let them in. Let them get any confidence. Once when these teams get confidence and start playing well, the rest of the NFL needs to look out. Also, another reason why, because either way, somebody is going to make a playoffs out of this division.
I want to piggyback off of what you just said. Right? Don't let the Eagles or the Cowboys get any confidence going into the playoffs. Right?
Right.
Do you remember when the Eagles won the Super Bowl?
I believe they were 8-8 coming into the playoffs.
They had 8-8 coming into the playoffs, and they ran the table.
They lost their starting quarterback 2 weeks before that.
And still don't let an NFC East team get confidence going into the playoffs.
And then also to add to the question, so like I said, one team is going to make the playoffs like out of this division, no matter who it is. Why not be the Cowboys? Because I don't think they are going to address the quarterback situation in the draft. Because I think they're going to give Dak another franchise tag, kind of prove it that you are healthy. They still have Andy Dalton. I am not completely selling Andy Dalton. I still think he has it in the tank. He just needs to bring the team in and kind of gain that confidence factor here. The Cowboys need to address the offensive line.
Yes, like we talked about yesterday. If I was a GM, the first thing I would do, like I said yesterday, fire Mike Nolan. That defense is atrocious.
Except for Stephen Jones just come out and said that they're not firing any of the coaching staff.
I know. Fire Mike Nolan. Yes, I said it yesterday. I don't know. I think it was Mike Reeves or Brandon Combs said, "What the hell are you talking about? Go get Wade Phillips. He is definitely a better option than Nolan Ryan."
Well, he is a better option than Nolan Ryan too.
Option, yeah. He's a better option than Mike Nolan. Mike Nolan has that defense not prepared, poorly coached. He's out schemed every game. Go get Wade Phillips. I think it would be good. And then the second thing I would do is address the offensive line. I think maybe if we can coach the defense a little better and we can get, some help on the offensive line. Number one, if we can get help on the offensive line, Zeke can run the ball better, right? I get it. He's a $90 million man, but behind that line, there's only so much any running back can do. It doesn't matter what running back you are. If you have defenders in the backfield while you're getting the ball in your hand, there's nothing you can do. And if Andy Dalton is, dropping back, 3-step drop, and he already has pressure in his face, there's nothing he can do. That offensive line needs to be addressed now, right now.
Too late.
Yep. I mean, you guys do have Martin coming back. He should be back next week or this week or next week. So that's going to help.
2 weeks in, he'll be out for another 3.
Is it 3 still?
No.
Coming back
2 weeks in and then another 3 out. Yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, that in of itself.
Hold on. Zach Martin is historically really healthy and really dependable. Don't put it out there that he's going to get hurt like that. Zach Martin is a very dependable offensive lineman and a very good offensive lineman.
He is very, very good and very, very dependable.
Yeah.
Last year.
Right. So, I mean, the boys can win their next 2 of 3, right? Because they've got the Eagles on Sunday.
That's a big if there.
That's a big if. Then you got Steelers. That ain't happening.
That's a dub. Give it to him.
No.
What would you do
Vikings, that's a W.
Yeah.
Washington.
Should be. Hold on. Let's not count our chickens before they hatch.
No, we're giving you that one. W. I mean, yeah, there's some.
The final score is the final score is 2-0 because the Cowboys forfeit that game. We're like, no, we're tanking.
no, they'll get a safety on Kirk in the end zone again to win 2-0. That'll be great.
Man, let's get into the top 10. I'm so ready to debate this shit.
Are you pumped up?
Man, I am dying to do this.
All right, guys. So it is Tuesday. That means Matt Benz's power rankings have officially been released.
Yeah.
And Matt Benz, who do you have at number 10?
At number 10, I have the team on turf, the Rams. They are 5-2. They beat the shitty ass Bears. Fuck the Bears. And they played the Dolphins on Sunday. Yeah.
I don't want to put the Rams in the top 10 because yes, okay, they beat the Chicago Bears last night, but
Sure.
4 of their wins have come up against the NFC East teams.
Yeah.
These aren't great teams in the NFC East. There's still more to me that the Rams need to prove to be, playoff bound teams that we know, okay, these teams are definitely going to the playoffs. So to have them in the top 10 right now, I don't know about the Rams yet.
Yeah, it's a tough one. The reason why I really put them in is surprising enough, they're averaging 138 rushing yards per game with Darrell Henderson and Malcolm Brown. Like that in of itself is mind blowing to me that can happen. But
with who?
With Darrell Henderson
and
Malcolm Brown.
This guy, Texas fan.
Exactly. That in of itself is a surprising factor. Then their defense is doing what they need to do. They weren't as good last night. They were great in the red zone, keeping the Bears to 0-2 in the red zone, but they're only giving up 17 points per game. That's crazy.
I mean, it is.
They're doing enough to make the top 10. That's why they're at 10.
I guess, but only giving up 17 points a game, it just takes me back to the NFC East. Washington, yes, is just now getting it rolling. When they played the Rams, they didn't know what the hell was going on. The Eagles, same thing. The Cowboys had their offense going, but, when Dak was in there, it was the first half, the offense sucked, and then they didn't start getting it going until the second half.
Right.
And then the Giants. The Giants don't know what the hell they're doing.
Okay,
So-
Mike, timeout.
What?
You said they haven't played any playoff-bound teams. Well, first things first, they played all NFC East, and there is a playoff team coming from the NFC East, so they have played a playoff-bound team. Secondly,
Calm down.
Secondly, they went toe-to-toe with the Buffalo Bills. If it wasn't a botched call or whatever you want to call it, they would have probably beat the Buffalo Bills. I think the Buffalo Bills are still going to win that AFC East and make noise in the postseason. They're a very, very good team. There's 2 playoff teams. How about the San Francisco 49ers? They're not playoff bound, but they're still a pretty damn good team. And when you go toe-to-toe with the San Francisco 49ers, a division.
They beat the San Francisco. They beat the 49ers.
They lost to the 49ers.
They lost to the 49ers. They lost to the 49ers with a depleted defense.
It's still a division game, a division opponent. You cannot. So, people always want to say, oh, the Chiefs lost to the Raiders. It's a division opponent. They know each other so damn well that it doesn't matter. You can throw out the records. You can throw out all the history.
Look,
it's a division opponent. You know each other.
Fucking hot. I needed to get up out of my seat. I don't think the Rams need to be in the top 10, man.
You are right. The Rams need to be in the top 5 because they're that damn good.
You are fucking smoking crack, son.
I'm not smoking crack. Facts are facts. The fact are they are 5-2. They have beat a playoff bound team.
They are the worst 5-2 team in football.
Have you seen the Chicago Bears?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
I don't know about that. I would definitely say that this week they're going to get a win. I think Tua's going to come out real shaky. Unfortunately, it's his first game starting. I see that happening.
Yeah, they're going to beat the Dolphins for sure.
Yep.
I don't think
they're a 6-2 team.
I don't think the Dolphins should even start Tua.
Right. Yeah, that's a whole
wait. Hold on.
Yes.
Flashback 2 months ago, you said Tua. It's Tua time.
They had a bye this week. I think they should have started. If you're gonna fucking start Tua in the middle of the season, you should have started him at the beginning of the season.
No, give him some time to get his feet wet, come off the bye week, and play a very good Rams team. Beat a very good Rams team. This situation for the Rams next week is a lose-lose situation because if they beat the Miami Dolphins, they were supposed to beat them with the rookie quarterback first time starting, and if they lose to them, they're like, oh shit, you lost to the Miami Dolphins.
They're exposed.
So, yeah. Win for Miami, lose for the Rams. Yep. Benz, who do you have at number 9?
At number 9, I have the Saints. They are 4-2. They squeeze past the Panthers 27-24. They play the Bears, who I expect them to beat on Sunday. I mean, even without Mike Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders, they still brought home the W. Alvin is extremely electric to watch, and I love the balance between him and Latavius Murray, that 1-2 punch. You have a bruiser, and then you've got a guy with finesse. The defense, is still their weakness, even though I think they played a little bit better. But I expect them to have a big week against a bland Bears offense.
I agree with Mike Reeves. Go ahead and put that comment up.
There we go. Reeves says Benzie is a closet Saints fan. Could be.
Yeah, you might be. I think you've been keeping the Saints.
There's not many teams I like beating more than the Saints, but it's hard to take them out after I've been riding with them so long in my top 10. You know, if they continue to win, I got to continue to have them somewhere. So 9 seems to be that spot where I'm going to hold them at. So
I like the Saints at number 10. I like them actually as an honorable mention, honestly, if we're being honest. That defense is just so suspect to me because and granted, yes, you know, their offense is firing on all cylinders, right? Especially when you have Drew Brees in the backfield.
But it's not. It's not firing on all cylinders. Yeah. That's the crazy
They're
part.
Like 6.5 right now out of 8.
Yeah. It's firing on all. Okay, let me walk that back. It's firing on all cylinders when it actually matters. When Drew Brees has to go out and win the game for him.
Sure,
he did it.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically what Mike is trying to say here is the car will not idle, but when you put the gas pedal down, it'll go 0 to 60 in about an hour and like an hour and a half, right? Because they are so old, they're so crooked and whatever. But come on, Ben, Saints in the top 10. A guy would have dropped them out after week 4 after losing to the Raiders and the Packers back-to-back games there. Yes, they did. Yes, they come back and beat the Lions. Congratulations. They beat the Chargers, which is a very, very competitive game. Yep. And I thought the Panthers were going to beat them, but they somehow pulled it out somehow, some way. The problem with the Saints
that's what I mean. When the game is on the line and you need something, the offense starts firing on all cylinders. And that's why I don't like them in the top 10, because your offense should be firing on all cylinders throughout the whole game. Not just when, hey, we're about to lose this shit. We need to just go ahead and then boom, why does it only start clicking when you are about to lose? Why can't it click all game long?
You know, and I think the big thing with the Saints this year is just seeing that it feels to me like they're trying to do too much to figure out what the next step is after Drew Brees. And I feel like they're contradicting themselves and realizing that this is more than likely their last season with Drew, and to really ride that train throughout it. The Taysom Hill experiment is a joke in of itself.
I don't think this is the last season with Drew Brees. I think he's got 1 or 2 more seasons. No, I think he's a Texas boy. We don't quit.
You're right. You get fired, and Drew Brees should probably be fired at the end of the season because it is time to move on from Drew Brees.
It's not time to move on from Drew Brees.
It's done. One more season. Everybody thinks that he's not playing to his caliber this season, which he's not because he is an HOF. So he's not playing as an HOF this year. But another year onto it, he's not at that caliber. He is not a Tom Brady.
Bold statement there, but my biggest concern about the New Orleans Saints is the fact that they don't have Michael Thomas in the lineup.
Right.
They are like a knocking engine.
Disrespectful.
Like
Yeah.
I'm just speaking the facts.
But you are disrespectful.
Love Drew, but he's not Tom.
Neither of them are Peyton Manning, but we'll go ahead and
Correct,
move past that point.
I digress.
But the problem that I have with the Saints is why are they not playing Michael Thomas? You like you said it, Ben, yourself. Yes, they are winning without Michael Thomas. I believe that was pre-show that you said that. But why are they doing that? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, we've said Michael Thomas is a top 5 NFL or a top receiver in all of the NFL.
Right.
And you're sitting him for arguing with a teammate? Come on.
Right.
Is this Sean Payton's last year? Shit.
And that's the thing. When you have coaching staffs that have been there for so long, you start to see finally the regression. And yes, they've had dynasty moments and they've built this empire, but it's long in the tooth. You know what I mean? It's expired in that aspect of it. There needs to be a freshness rolling into franchises in order for them to keep steamrolling. I mean, you look at New England right now. Yes, they've had a lot of issues here and there and everywhere, and a lot of opt-outs and a lot of you lose your franchise quarterback and you're going with a goodwill bin quarterback that you're finding out of the clearance bin. But you see it where it's time for freshness in a lot of different franchises. So it's interesting to see. I still think the Saints this year, they're still rooting and booting. I think if they can show an offensive spark and really put up points against the Bears team this week, that might give me a little more reason to keep them at 9. But
let me sidebar real quick.
Go ahead.
Let me sidebar real quick.
Hold on. I have a real quick question. Quick.
God. Let's hear it.
So you talked about the Patriots, right?
Yep.
Where there needs to be some freshness.
Yeah.
This is where I was going to.
Do you think this is Belichick's last year and Josh McDaniels becomes the head coach?
So that's where I was going, but I was going to go, do you think all these players opt out because of COVID? They wanted Bill to tank this year and, like, see you later, right?
Bill won't. It's not his last year.
I mean, I'm not.
No, I get it. It's very intriguing. I love the question, but I don't see this being Belichick's last year simply because if they did that, season ticket holders would lose their shit.
Yes. Bill Belichick, and I don't give a shit what either one of you say, and I hate the Patriots. Bill Belichick is arguably
the best coach ever.
Best head coach of all time.
Correct.
So wouldn't this be something? Bruce Arians gets fired at Tampa Bay. Bill Belichick goes to the Bucs.
Slides in.
Number 8, Benzie.
Oh, at number 8, I have the Arizona Cardinals. A crazy game in of itself. They beat the Seahawks in overtime, 37-34. Lots of momentum for a very electric team. They are extremely fun to watch. I'm excited to see how healthy they can get through this bye week coming up, and if they can keep their momentum steamrolling.
Oh, I can't. I couldn't wait till you finish your spill. I like the Cardinals higher than number 9. Watching them play against the Seahawks, watching Kyler Murray be a field general at the end of the game was such a it was almost like you watched during that game. It was almost like you watched him grow up in front of your eyes.
Yeah,
the maturity, the football sense to do what he did at the end of the game was just it was a beautiful thing to watch.
Sure.
And for those of you who really don't know football, you just passively watch it. I feel sorry for you because what we witnessed on that Monday or that Sunday night game, watching Kyler Murray take control of that offense and drive down the field to tie the game, to put it into overtime, was such a beautiful thing to watch. I like the Cardinals higher than number 8.
Okay.
Yeah, and with that being said, yes, this is the power rankings for like that week, right? I mean, like that's how you do your power rankings is like week to week. type of base, but they build on each other, much
Right.
like the college football power rankings. And with that being said, every time a team outside the top 10 beats a team inside the top 10, usually they kind of flip-flop spots. So when I say that, I'm expecting the Seattle Seahawks to be out of the top 10 because you have the Cardinals at number 8, and we've seen 10 and 9, and then you see the Cardinals. I'm like, hey, wait a second.
Yeah.
Seahawks are arguably one of the top 2 teams in the NFC, and then the Cardinals beat them. Shouldn't they be in the top 5?
I mean, Kyler Murray went toe to toe with the.
He stepped on Russell Wilson's toes. Like, get out of here, boy.
In my opinion, Kyler Murray went toe to toe with the MVP this season. Russell Wilson has been playing lights out all season. In my opinion, Russell Wilson is the MVP so far this season. And he went toe to toe with Russell Wilson and came out on top.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray is special.
Kyler Murray is very special, and
I didn't think
I definitely agree with that.
I thought his height was going to be an issue in the NFL. I really did. He could barely see over the line. But some of the throws he made in that game were just like, how?
You know, and you see that with a lot of these quarterbacks, especially the young ones that are actually doing something with the early part of their careers, and you see that it factor, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean skill wise, that means in their head, like mentally, what are they doing when they make mistakes or when they take a bad loss or, you know, bounce back drive after drive? Can they maintain that kind of numbness, right? And you see that with Kyler. You see that with Herbert so far, Joe Burrow. You know, you don't really see that with Baker because Baker is mentally deranged, right? So he's all over the place. If he's on, and he's Baker mania, right? But when he's off, he's extremely off inside of his head. And you don't see that with Kyler. You see that calm, cool, collective, composed baseball player in a football player's body. That's exactly what you got going on. So, yeah, it's interesting. The reason why I'm not giving them as much respect yet is just because I don't know. I don't know why I need to see more from them consistently. And I don't know. The running game scares me a lot. If your passing game's off, they're in the running game. They haven't seemed to be able to get that going on a weekly basis. Now you got Kenyon Drake, who's week to week. It's tough. You'll see what happens. But yeah, at 8, I definitely didn't flip flop. You'll see that deeper into the power rankings. And
all right,
but go ahead.
Well, first things first, I think you have them so low and you need to see more from them is because they lost to the almighty Detroit Lions that are still going 10-6 this season and winning that NFC North Division. Number 7.
Put the crack pipe down.
At number 7, we have the Baltimore Ravens. They are coming off their bye week and they play the Steel Curtain on Sunday. Sketchy quarterback play and inconsistent weeks. I feel like this week the Ravens are going to get punched in the face and it's going to really expose because they aren't going to be able to get a rushing game going. That is exactly what's not going to happen against the Steelers. And they're going to have to throw the rock and it's going to be exposed once again.
Yeah, I agree with everything Benzie said. I think the Ravens are going to get punched in the mouth. I think that defense is going to get exposed, and I think Big Ben and Claypool are going to expose them. They're going to be so worried about Juju that they're going to leave Claypool one-on-one, and Claypool is a rising star. I mean, he's done some great things. I think Juju doesn't get as many targets, and I think Claypool gets 2 or 3 touchdowns from Big Ben, and this is going to be a just slap in the face for the Ravens.
So I know this is not the Steelers, this is the Baltimore Ravens, but speaking on the Steelers, this is exactly what AB and Juju did back in their day. AB was getting double team, Juju was, single coverage, and he blew up. Claypool's going to do the same thing. However, the Baltimore Ravens are a team that is, I think they're still trying to find their way. They are still trying to find their identity outside of Lamar Jackson physically carrying the team week in and week out. And this week they get exposed big time. The Kansas City Chiefs beat them, but they didn't really expose them. The Pittsburgh Steelers are arguably the best team in the AFC right now, and they're going to expose this Baltimore Ravens offense, defense, special teams. They're going to expose that coaching staff like as well.
More
Baltimore
than
Ravens at 7.
The Steelers are the best team in the NFL right now.
Yeah, and just so the Ravens being 7 right now is kind of like a courtesy, I think, because they didn't lose like last week or play last week. You can't really knock them out for not playing, whatever, yada yada yada. After this week, they better not be in the top 10. They have to get that ass kicked by 28 points. Number 6.
At number 6, I have the respectable Tennessee Titans. They lost to the Steelers 24-27, and they play the Bengals on Sunday. There's obviously a lot of heart on this Titans team and great coaching to make this team a contender, and they have earned my respect. The thing about it is that they were getting throttled to start this game. Throttled. Yeah. Absolutely throttled in every aspect of the game. They were getting beat, and they didn't give up. And that's where you get my respect. That's where they still are at 6, and a lot of people are like, oh, they lost. Yeah, understandable. There are teams that are still even lower than this that have lost this last week, and they still have my respect in that aspect. So Tennessee at 6.
I love Tennessee at number 6, even though they lost. I think you had them at number 5 last week, right? Right.
Yep.
I like them at number 6. I really do. I love the way Tennessee is playing football right now. I love it. It is old school, methodically, pound the rock. We're going to keep our offense on the field to keep your defense off. That's the key to beating the Titans. If you can keep the offense off of the field. And for the first half, that's what the Steelers did. They kept their offense off the field. That's where they were able to throttle them in the first half. They went in at halftime, they made some adjustments, and they started playing their game again. And they methodically pounded the rock and started coming back. I love the way Tennessee is playing ball right now. Don't be surprised. I'm calling it right now. Don't be surprised if Tennessee is in the AFC Championship. Don't be surprised.
I am going to be surprised because they're not going to make it. I am not jumping on this bandwagon yet. I don't care if they were 5-0 going into week 7, yada, yada, yada. Fun fact here, this is only the second time that 2 undefeated teams have faced each other this late in the season, and the winner of that game went on to the Super Bowl. What did the loser of that game do? They missed the playoffs. So looking at the Titans' schedule moving forward, they had the Bengals.
I don't care about your stats, Buck. I don't give a shit about your stats. You know why?
You should.
2 seasons ago, the Philadelphia Eagles were 8-8 going into the playoffs and ran the table when statistically that is not possible. Statistically, no team really does that, and they went all the way to the playoff. They went all the way through the playoffs to the Super Bowl with a backup quarterback and won.
First of all, I can name 3 NFC East teams that have done it in the last 20 years. The Giants twice and the Eagles.
The Giants didn't do it twice. They didn't go into the playoffs 8-8.
Yeah, they did.
No,
they had to win the last game to beat the Patriots.
You need to go back and look.
Whatever. Let's look at the Titans here. Look at their schedule moving forward. They're 5-1. Their next games are the Bengals, Bears, Colts, Ravens, Colts, Browns. That's the next 6 games. I could see them losing 5 games in a row here. They're going to lose the Cincinnati Bengals this week. They're going to lose to the Bears, the Colts.
Benzie,
I see a 3-3, so I would see him 5-9 after 5-4 after the games are all set. Or what is it?
So
8-4.
Yeah, 8-4. But either way, the Titans cannot win the way they're playing. We've seen that in the playoffs. They were up 28 points on the Kansas City Chiefs, and they could not close it out because their offense got away from what they're doing, or their defense just collapsed, like a little bit of low. Both. Mm-hmm. We saw the Pittsburgh Steelers kind of take the foot off the gas a little bit, and they came back. That's the only reason why this game wasn't a blowout, because the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't have that killer instinct in them to really just put that nail in the coffin. They kind of wanted to toy with them like a little bit, like, hey, you guys shouldn't even be 5-0 because we were supposed to play week 3, and you should have been 2-1 after that, like after that week.
And so another crazy thing about it too is if you look at their kicking game, I mean, Gostkowski, he's hitting more out of 50 and deeper than he is in the 40. You know what I mean? Like if he's
same
got
with the Chiefs kicker.
it's crazy in of itself.
Yeah.
Kicking this last week is nuts. Extra point after extra point, people missing all over the place makes zero sense.
So just to add to your point there, I do like the Titans in the top 10. Number 6 is a little bit generous because looking forward, I'm kind of predicting what they're going to do. I'm going to tell you what they're going to do because I'm usually right 9 times out of 10. They are still a 500 ball club. Like, let's be flat out honest, they're still a 500 ball club. They probably got one of the toughest schedules moving forward. I mean, they play the Bears, Colts, Titans, Ravens, the Packers. Hell, I'm even worried about the Jaguars. I mean, a division game.
It's a trap.
Number 5.
At number 5, I have the Kansas City Chiefs.
Put some
They are
speak on their name.
6-1. They beat the Broncos 43-16 in a horrible weather game. They played the horrible Jets with the worst coach in the NFL, Adam Gase, who is a pile of garbage. Better defensive play. They did have better defensive play this last week with the sloppy weather, like I talked about. But they need to have more sustained drives. And you didn't see that as much, and I haven't seen that as much in the last 2 weeks that they've played, where they're feeling confident on the offensive side of the ball, because they should be the most confident offensive team, and it's not standing out to me as much. So it will be interesting to see them get their confidence back after playing a team like the Jets this week.
Go ahead, Mike.
I like the Chiefs at 5. Actually, I would probably change. I'd probably put Chiefs at 6, Titans at 5.
Get the hell out of here.
I don't know about that.
Get out of here.
Patty Mahomes never will fall out of the top 5. They could be 8-8, and he'll still be at 5.
We're talking about power rankings, right?
Right. Yep.
We're not talking about individual, right? I get it that,
but it's Patty Mahomes is on the team, so therefore they are powerful.
Facts.
What do you mean?
Facts.
Come on.
This is why. Okay, first of all, I love the Kansas City Chiefs. I am a Chiefs fan. This is going to be my homer talking at me 100%. They are a top 3 NFL power team right now. Did you guys see what they did against the Buffalo Bills? The Buffalo Bills were taking away the deep ball. They were taking away the passing game. They run the ball 42 times.
I get it. Yep.
42 times.
Yep.
Then versus the Broncos in a sloppy, snowing game, they scored on all 3 aspects of the game. Pick 6, kickoff return, and Patrick Mahomes sat the whole fourth quarter.
Titans number 5, Chiefs number 6.
But Mike, I'm going to mute you because you are talking out of your mouth right now, talking out of your butt right now, because the Kansas City Chiefs
it's because it's the Kansas City Chiefs. It's because it's Bucks team, right?
Not necessarily though. Remember. Now this is by power rankings, and even though I have them at 5, they could easily be in the top 3. Now the team that I have coming up, and I'll explain it more once we get to that team. Yes, easily, and that is simply because. Yep, easily.
Who is 4?
At number 4, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are 5-2. They beat the Raiders, which I thought in of itself would have been a trap game, and it was a pretty fun game to watch. They play the Giants on Monday night, which they will throttle that. But just seeing Tom Brady, and yes, I understand Buck kind of posted about this earlier of how, is it the competition or is it the talent? Is it the actual team, or is it kind of a facade in the 5-2 record? I feel like it is both sides of the ball. I didn't expect play like this out of Tom Brady at all this season.
No.
I expected him to be consistent, and I expected him to not make as many mistakes, but to see him balling out the way that he is against pretty decent teams. I mean, the Raiders aren't a slouch by any means. And then the Packers the week before, I mean.
Let's be honest. Brady to Gronk looks like the old Brady to Gronk in the Super Bowl days.
You're right.
Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah. You were right.
Did you see Gronk just in the end zone like, no, bitch, this is my ball?
Yeah. That's Gronk getting back into game shape. And you could tell at the beginning of the season, Gronk was not prepared to play football this year. He was not in football shape, but now you see him starting to come. Obviously, without O.J. Howard as well, he's getting way more targets. I think he's had 22 targets in the last 3 weeks, which is nuts.
And is very, very dangerous for teams playing the Bucs.
It is not very, very dangerous for the team playing the Bucs because here is the reason why.
Flying out of your mouth.
Because
how is it not dangerous? They're going back. Brady and Gronk have a long history, and now they're getting back to Brady and Gronk.
They have a long history because they're so freaking old. This is the reason why it is. This is going to be bad for the Bucs. They added a player called AB.
Yep.
Antonio Brown. Did you see what Tom Brady did? And Antonio Brown when he was in New England, he forced him the ball like 17 targets or 18 targets in that one game that he played. He totally eliminated everybody from the offense because he wanted to get AB the ball to make him happy, right? That's exactly what's going to happen in Tampa Bay, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to go like this.
Now, Buck, the only reason why I don't think that is going to happen is because you're getting AB out of the Goodwill bin, and that's the only reason. Now, when they got him the last time, he was still relevant, we'll say, just because he hadn't been gone. Yeah, he's always. I mean, that's what you're going to get. Look back into history. The best wide receivers in the game, for the most part, were prima donnas, right? I mean,
they have to be. They have to.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to get inside your head, and they're going to be all over the place mentally. But I don't think that will happen. You heard that Godwin is going to be week to week now, didn't he? I think he broke a finger or something like that.
Yeah.
And you got Evans who never gets the ball until he gets the ball, and it's in abundance, right? So you've got all these weapons, and you have, if Tom wants to make this Gronk's game, he makes it Gronk's game. If he wants to make it AB's game, he can do that as well. I like the fact also, this is why I have him at 4, because they're using Fournette more, and I think that works better in their scheme. I think Fournette is the ground and pound, catch the ball, do all types of things, and he intimidates people as well. So
I'm gonna tell you what the Bucs are.
Oh, let's hear it.
Overrated?
Besides Tom Brady. No, I don't think that. I don't.
Who have they played? Who had the Bucs played?
Hey, listen to me. Listen. You know what the Bucs are?
Overrated.
They're the poor man's Cowboys.
Well, they ain't poor, I'll tell you that. They're shelling out now.
No, they're not really. I mean, they're paying AB. They're not paying AB much. Yeah,
no,
sure.
I'll tell you what the Bucs are. They're old man strength. Whenever I had to play my dad on the blacktop, beat me. Never understood why. This team is old man strength, and it shows in multiple facets. I don't think they're necessarily overrated. I think they're just hot right now. They are hot right now, and that's why they are where they're at. And
when they're hot, or when Tom Brady is hot, it's hard to put him out.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, looking at their schedule moving forward, they don't have anybody that can really put them out. Maybe the Chiefs. Oh, because their schedule's so freaking horrible because they don't play anybody because they're overrated. But they'll lose first round of the playoffs. Ben's number 3.
At number 3, now this is the pick that I told you is very possible that they could have swapped with the Chiefs, and I have the Seahawks. Still after losing, still have them at number 3. Reason being, I mean, their offense is what their offense is. I mean, you see Ty Lockett and Russell Wilson's chemistry, and it's really hard. Maybe Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers have this same chemistry, but you look elsewhere in the league, and it's really hard to find somebody like that. I mean, you've got 3 touchdowns, 200 yards with Lockett, and you got to remember, I know Mike's not big on him necessarily, but Jamal Adams is their defense, and that's the issue. It's exposed when he's not on the field, 3rd consecutive week not playing, and you see it because they need him in order to keep it, let's say, under 25 points, and that's where they're fine. They can let teams ball out and get theirs, and they can still win games, but without them, it's a foot race, and it's a gun after gun after gun, and it's tough. So
it definitely showed with the Cardinals.
Yep.
It definitely showed that last drive when they were driving down the field. It showed that Jamal Adams was really the key piece of that secondary.
Yeah, he is their defense.
It showed.
Yep.
It showed.
So here's the problem that I'm seeing with the Seattle Seahawks. Do I think they're a good team? Yes. Do not take them out of the top 10 whatsoever. Sure. You probably take them out of the top 5 though, because here is why. They are kind of trending downward like at this time. They had a tough game versus the Miami Dolphins. Yes, they had to travel across the like the US, play like a 9 a.m. game. And it was like 85 degrees or like whatever. And then they struggle against the Vikings. The Vikings teams is not very good. So, sure. I mean, yes, it was a struggle, yada, yada, yada. And then they lost to the Cardinals. Then they played the 49ers, Bills, and Rams. Two conference games or two division games, and then the Buffalo Bills is a very, very good team. They might be on the down slope, and then after this Rams game, maybe they can come back up. But right now, I think they're trending downward a lot.
The big thing with the Seahawks is going to be, before the trade deadline, what defensive acquisitions are you going to make? Who can you find, teams that are selling, that you can grab? Is it going to be a guy like, let's see, I mean, really from the Vikings, who do you want? Because Harrison Smith, I don't see them grabbing another safety. I think they need corners, but they could. You know what I mean? It's teams like seven. That. Yeah, exactly. You need pressure up front and things of that nature. Maybe go grab Everson Griffin from the Cowboys since they're shopping him. Things of that nature, but they have to make acquisitions fast to make that defense competitive. Otherwise, they're fucked. So,
and speaking of shopping, the Jets are shopping defensive tackle Quentin Williams, so maybe that could be an acquisition. Number 2.
Love that. At number 2, I have the Packers. They are 5-1. They beat the Texans 35-20. It shouldn't have even been that close. That's a lot of garbage time at the end. They play the Vikes on Sunday. Usually a border battle in Minnesota against Green Bay. We're usually so pumped up for that game. You even listen to radio right now on K-Fan. No one is talking about it. Everyone's downplaying it. It's not good. But when you're averaging almost 400 yards per game, 32 points per game, average defensive play, you win games. So,
go ahead, Mike.
Number 2, you have the Packers. My man, Aaron Rodgers. Hey, look, I think, when they lost to the Seahawks, right? Mm-hmm. I think Aaron Rodgers had an off game. I like the Packers at number 2. I think they are.
Well, actually, though, they lost to the Bucs.
The Bucs. Sorry. Yes, the Bucs. I think Aaron Rodgers just had an off game. I mean, he threw as many picks as in that game that he's had in the past 2 seasons. I like the Packers at number 2. I really think Aaron Rodgers has a chip on his shoulder. You drafted Jordan Love in the first round to replace me. I'm about to show you why you should not replace me. I'm about to show you why I'm Aaron Rodgers, bitch. I like the Packers at number 2. I think Packers are still the best team in the NFC.
Oh, sure. Buck?
I'm not for sure where the Green Bay Packers are going like at this point. They did drop a major L to the Bucs, and you had the Bucs at what? At number 4, right? Yeah, the Bucs at number 4. Yep. I don't know. The reason why I don't know is because they really haven't played anybody besides the Bucs yet. Yes, you can say the Saints were somebody in that week 3, but they didn't have Michael Thomas like at that point. Yeah. You can say they played the Lions, the division winner Lions, but they gave up a 21-point lead that the Lions did. So I don't know if I want to put stock into the Packers yet. Let them play the 49ers in 2 weeks, and then the Colts after that. Then I might jump on that Packers bandwagon. But I'm not disappointed that there are 2 because I believe you had them at number 1 the previous week or a few weeks ago. So, but like either way, Aaron freaking Rodgers is the MVP of the NFL this season so far.
So far,
Number 1.
At number 1, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. So they are 6-0. They beat the Titans 27-24. They play the Ravens on Sunday, which should be a great game in of itself. Middle of the road offense lately, and they need to be more conservative and make less turnovers to stay at the number 1 spot. That's for sure. But they also need to keep their foot on the gas. And I think you see that with a lot of the good teams this year is that they're playing to the levels of their opponents. You're seeing that a lot. You're not seeing a lot of throttles this year. And that needs to be happening because if you're a number 1 team, they get the benefit of the doubt, though, because that defense is
phenomenal.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, the Pittsburgh Steelers because they are executing on all aspects of the game. Their defense is top notch, top 5 in all of NFL. Yes, they've given up some points, 21, 29, and 24 4 points there. But at the same time, in those games, their offense had such a big lead, so they were kind of playing that like that cover 2 cloud BS when you play prevent it prevents you from winning the game. Yeah. AKA tip there, guys. Don't run cloud defense when you're up points. But with that being said, when it's just like what Mike was saying about the like about the Saints, when it's time to step up, that defense steps up and they clamp down many teams.
I mean, they're giving up 68 rushing yards a game,
which is crazy to me.
That shouldn't even be possible. It shouldn't even be possible.
Like only 68 a game. Like
that's like one big run. Like
think about it. You're any team you're playing, you're taking the run game completely out.
100%.
Yeah.
So Steelers are the best team in the NFL right now.
Yep.
Until they lose to the Jaguars in a few weeks. So
I mean, it's a trap game, so you never know.
Never know. Yeah, that's the NFL this year. You never know. Every week, you never know. So.
All righty, Ben. So just to rerun through your rankings here, at number 10, you got the Rams. Number 9, you got the Saints. Number 8, you got the Cardinals. 7, Ravens. 6, Titans. Number 5, the Chiefs. 4, Bucks. 3, Seattle Seahawks. Number 2, the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
And number 1, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
Man, that's not bad. Not bad.
It's not
Minus
bad.
The Saints.
It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. That's what it is. And everything's interesting at twistsportstalk.com.
twistsportstalk.com. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today's show. Mike, any closing thoughts before we head out?
I have none. Love each other.
Love each other.
Love each other. Cheers, fuckers.
All right, guys, that is Mike and Mike Man Hour, guys. Live, raw, uncut sports talk every Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. East Coast time. Benz, as always, thanks for being on. Talk to you next week, man.
For sure. Peace out, boys.